I'm Andrew Wilson, and I'm going to follow the trail of the stolen funds.
For this heist, nobody broke in and nobody took anything away. Once it became clear that an internationally recognized and respected institution like the Federal Reserve had been caught up in the heist, questions started being asked here in Washington. We're closest to the rebel front lines. They're only about half a mile to a mile away from us here, and that means the occasional rocket comes over and lands. There's little pockets of damage that we can see. That's a pressure on the people here as well. The change is remarkable. I recorded the journey we made today because I've been here many times before. Each time it's different. Now Israel really has a control on who comes in and who comes out.
Clearance for the bus to travel through Gaza comes from the Israeli military and the Israeli military alone. We're pretty much the only vehicle on the road.
In a year and a half of conflict, we haven't seen anything like this. Ramallah, the de facto capital of the West Bank, has been turned literally into a ghost town. 250,000 people locked down by one military operation. We stayed too long near the tanks. In America, animal rights protests seems to have evolved into three separate tiers. The first group specialise in bureaucracy, lobbying, going through the courts and so on. The second group involves protest and direct action, but strictly within legal limitations. This is pretty much the exact spot where the planes hit the Twin Towers, a catastrophe that at the time united the country and much of the world behind this presidency. Now, 3 years on, many Americans feel that George Bush's war on terror, instead of guaranteeing their freedom, is starting to take it away. Well, we understand now that they're pretty used to using Tahrir Square as an instrument of opposition, but this is hardly an opposition in the sense that we might understand it. There is one difference. Back during the Arab Spring, the square was filled with an atmosphere of anger and also a lot of hope. This time round, we're only really feeling the anger. We must have covered about 4 or 5 miles and we haven't seen a living soul. No sound, no sign, no indication of life out there. We've seen 2 other rescue boats and they've reported the same. No sign, no one left alive around here. It's all well and good to celebrate one body blow to the enemy, but there's a context to this. Look at Benghazi port. Nothing's been happening here for 6 weeks now. Iraq remains an unsettling issue for most Americans. Did the elections do the trick? Will US troops be coming home soon? How many more have to die over there before the job is done? The White House is still extremely vulnerable to bad news from the Middle East.